ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10th, Chapter 5, chapter entitled The Meeting of Nanda Maharaj and Vasudev, Text 8. Maharha Vastra Bharanam Kanchoku Nishabhutashay Kanchok Nishabhushitaha Gopaha Samayayu Rajan Nanopayana Pandayaha. Word to word meaning. Maha-arha, extremely valuable. Vastra abharana, with garments and ornaments. Kanchuka, by a particular type of garment used in Vrindavan. Ushnisha, with turbans. Bhushitaha, being nicely dressed. Gopaha, all the cowherd men. Samayayuhu, came there. Rajan, O king, Maharaj Parikshit. Nana, various. Upayana, presentations. Panayaha, holding in their hands. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. O King Parikshit, the cowherd men dressed very opulently with valuable ornaments and garments such as coats and turbans. Decorated in this way and carrying various presentations in their hands, they approached the house of Nanda Maharaj. Purport. When we consider the past condition of the agriculturalist in the village, we can see how opulent he was, simply because of agricultural produce and protection of cows at the present. However, agriculture having been neglected and cow protection given up, the agriculturist is suffering pitiably and is dressed in a niggardly torn cloth. This is the distinction between the India of history and the India of the present day. By the atrocious activities of Ugra Karma, how we are killing the opportunity of human civilization. Please repeat the translation. O King Parikshit, the cowherd men dressed very opulently with valuable ornaments and garments such as coats and turbans, decorated in this way and carrying various presentations in their hands, they approached the house of Nanda Maharaj. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swavadantikam वंदेहम श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललितान् श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So I would beg mercy from all the Vaishnavas, especially His Grace Pancha Gauda Prabhu, so that they can shower their blessings and I can perform this service which I am being told to discuss something from such an exalted subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sitting in this most holy place of Sri Krishna Balaram Mandir. So we saw in the last few verses, after Krishna appeared in Vrajabhumi, in his Prakatya Leela, manifested pastimes. In the 6th text, Shukadeva Goswami is explaining about how this Vrajapura, the town of Vraja, is decorated. And then in the 7th he is talking about different cows and bulls and calves, how they are also decorated. They are not being neglected. It is said their heads were bedecked with peacock feathers and they were garlanded and covered with cloth and golden ornaments. This is the situation of cow. Now, I don't know how many, even human beings have this facility to decorate themselves with the gold. And Prabhupada will talk in today's purport. Even in the 3rd canto, when Lord Brahma, all the demigods, when they approach, that what is happening, why everything is so dark, when Hiranyakashipu and his younger brother Hiranyaksha were supposed to, take birth. Then Brahma describes different things and Lord Brahma talks about Vaikuntha. Then he talks about the Vaikuntha itself, the place, then different varieties of species, and then he talks about the human, devotees in human bodies. So here also, Shukadeva Goswami is explaining about Vraja, how it is decorated. And then he is talking about cows and calves and bulls. They were decorated with golden ornaments and peacock feather. And in today's verse, he is talking about the men, the Brajabasis, but the men who are coming to visit Nanda Baba's house to see Krishna. And only one verse. But next few verses he will talk about the women of Vrindavan. How different decoration they have. They have decorated their bodies to come and see Krishna. Shukadeva Goswami is saying the cowherd men were dressed very opulently with valuable ornaments and garments. Now this we can understand how the culture has changed in this world today. Especially in India, if anyone has to go to temple, so what they think, Okay, take anything, wear anything and go. What is the big deal? Who is seeing anyways? But if they have to meet any, celebrity or any important person, then they decorate themselves. But here we see that Krishna is the most important personality. And how Brajabasis, they have decorated themselves with costly clothes. Very opulently, Prabhupada writes. They've decorated themselves very opulently. And because they are coming to see Krishna. So similarly, devotees of Krishna, when they come to temple, they decorate. And what is the opulence of a devotee? The neck beads, the tilak which we wear, and the consciousness, the most important, the consciousness which we carry. Then Prabhupada say in its purport, the condition of agriculturist. I was just sitting here and I read this letter to Yashamati Nandan Prabhu, written in Vrindavan, 28th November 1976. Prabhupada says the whole idea is that we are ISKCON, a community to be independent from outside help. This farm project is specially for devotees. And here in the purport, Prabhupada is talking about the situation of agriculturists in today's scenario, and he is comparing. He is saying all these Brajabasis, they are Vaishyas. Krishi, Goraksha, Vanijyam. So what they do in Vrindavan? They do farming, they engage in farming, they sell milk products and protect the cows, serve the cows. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He Himself is serving the cows. And just by doing that, they were so rich, so much opulence they had. And today, what is happening? We are not far from the national capital, Delhi. And what is happening from past 2 months? More than 2 months. Lot of agitation. Farm agitation, farmers agitation, where farmers are saying that we are not, we are being ignored or whatever. But here Prabhupada is saying how rich these farmers were. Because of their tax, they used to pay tax. Shudras cannot pay tax. Brahmanas, no tax. So all the tax collection for the Kshatriyas were coming from Vaishyas. So much tax they used to give, so that these kings, live in opulence. How they were so rich? Prabhupada writes, because they used to take care of cows. He says, when we consider the past condition of the agriculturist in the village, we can see how opulent he was simply because of agricultural produce and protection of cows. And today, who are the, most rich people of the world? Who are selling plastics, who are selling softwares which you cannot see also. And what is happening to the farmers? Prabhupada writes, at the present, however, agriculture having been neglected and cow protection being given up, agriculturist is suffering pitiably and is dressed in a niggardly torn cloth. You will never see, a farmer, maybe some who are like big zamindars, lot of land, acres and acres of land, they may dress, but otherwise we don't see. So the entire concept, and Prabhupada is writing this in mid-70s or late 70s, the 10th canto, towards the end, 76, 77, where he is seeing the situation of how industries are growing, even in India that time. And Prabhupada says that's Ugra Karma. Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita in third chapter that I have created everything. He's telling these scriptures are given, so human beings should read the scriptures, perform yajna, and demigods will be pleased and will provide you everything you need to be happy in this world, and you can perform bhajan and come to me at the end of the life. So, and even in Ishopanishad, Om Purnamada Purnamida, that means this world is complete. Krishna has given us everything to be happy while living in this world. He does not want, okay, even government, when they send, the government sends criminals in jail, in the prison house, they take care, they provide basic facilities. The most compassionate, the all compassionate personality, Shri Krishna, even though we are criminals, will he leave us like this? We read so much in Bhagavad Gita, and compassion of Krishna is very, very much visible. Where he says every time that no, nothing will happen to my devotees if you perform bhajan. Even little bit of bhajan I will protect. So everything is complete. What we have done, we have messed it up. We have created a mess out of the beautiful garden Krishna gave us. Applying our own contaminated intelligence and limited understanding of this world. This world is like a machinery. If you do not understand the machine, don't operate it, because you are not the operator. Krishna says, I am the operator. You are cooperator. You should cooperate with me. Why? For your benefit. If we cooperate with Krishna, then we are getting benefits. If we don't cooperate and we consider out of our own false ego that we are operators, see what we have done to this world. Recently, still going on, this coronavirus. Now again Maharashtra, Bombay is again going under lockdown, night curfews, weekend lockdown again started. So when this virus attacked the world, all over the world, everything was just quiet and down. And nature was healing herself. Mumbai has seen dolphins at the beach. I mean, 20 million people stay, the city people don't want to stay. They're just still, hanging on there for money. Dolphins came. So many leopards and tigers, they were in many parts of the world roaming out in the city because that's their house. And what we have done, we have exploited everything. Every species, we are trying to exploit nature. But nature has the potential to heal herself. So we can see how Krishna, he has given everything. So there was a short video which was getting circulated all over the world. Then how we are guest here. I don't know whether it was made by a devotee or some non-devotee, but it was said, we are guest here. And we should live like guest. Do not think that everything belongs to me, as Prabhupada says. The Lord of all I survey. Everywhere. Even in Vrindavan, so many flyovers, so many high-rises. What's happening in the city? So we are messing up. Otherwise, if we just take guidance from Krishna through scriptures or through his bona fide representatives, like Srila Prabhupada has given us so many instructions in all the matter. One devotee was recently sharing his realization. He said there is no topic on this planet Earth which Prabhupada has not covered and not given us guidance or instructions. Everything we want to be happy in this world and practice Krishna consciousness and go back to Krishna. Prabhupada has given us. In his letters, in his morning walks, in his lectures, in his books, everything has been told. Not only directly related to temple, but the economy also. How this economy should function. And here Prabhupada is talking same thing. So Krishna created this beautiful, out of compassion he created this beautiful world. Even though it is Dukhalaya, is the house of all pains and miseries, so that we don't get attached here. Someone asked, why Krishna, who is so compassionate and so merciful, he gives us this pain and he puts us into miserable situation, so that we should not become attached to this world. Shri Krishna Balaram Radha Shyam Sundar Gaur Nitai ki jai. So we should not become attached to this world. But what we are trying to do? We are trying to transform this Dukhalaya, this house, this miserable house, to a Sukhalaya, to a place which will give us unlimited, unending happiness. Any object you take, take this mobile phone. This has been created by some company. And the creator has put some function in that. Like any time you are getting a call, if you have to receive the call, there's a green, you have to slide the green button. And if you have to disconnect, then there's a red. Now if you say, no, I will do it reverse, can you do it? No. It will not function that way, because the creator has created mobile and all its function to be operated in a certain fashion. So Krishna has created this world so that we can live following certain guidelines. Everywhere in the world we see guidelines. You cannot travel in flights, in trains, in buses. You cannot just cross the street without following rules and regulation of that country. We have to follow. But still what we think? That for this entire world, we don't need to follow anything and we can do anything we want. And that's how we have created a mess out of this beautiful place Krishna has given us. And now what is happening? We are not going back to Godhead. We means all over the world people are not practicing Krishna consciousness. Handful of devotees. Sometime when we come in the festivals to Vrindavan, we go to Mayapur, we see, oh, so many devotees. Yes, so many devotees. How many devotees? Few thousands? Few lakhs? How many people on this planet are chanting 16 rounds? Handful. Now what is the population of this world? 7.5 billion. Only human population. So now people are not going back to Godhead, performing Ugra Karma, and neither they are happy in this world. And what Krishna gave us the program? That you be happy and at the end you come to me. Now both are not happening. And still the illusioned living entity, out of their own false ego, they are thinking we are going in a perfect direction. Only little bit of adjustment is required. They say like that. That if we adjust this much, then we will be happy. You are trying to adjust. People in this world, in this material world, have tried to adjust from millions and billions of years. You cannot go against the Creator. You cannot go against the Creator who has created this world in a certain way. And that's what's exactly happening in terms of agriculture. This Varna Ashram Dharma, this society was divided in Varna Ashram, and everyone is performing their duty. Mentally people were so much peaceful. Now what is the biggest challenge in the world? Yes, a lot of technology, a lot of advancement in terms of engineering. Things are appearing to be peaceful or happy, if not happy, or comfortable. Travel, mode of transportation, mode of communication. People say, now you can talk to anyone in the world practically free. Because India, the internet is so cheap. And you can go for a video call, WhatsApp, Zoom, Skype, whatever, Facebook. But what are we doing? We have so many thousands and thousands of so-called friends in this world, but why are we still lonely? We have all the facilities at our disposal. Why are we not satisfied? We have all the time of the world because now everything is done by machines. Rather, with this artificial intelligence coming into picture, men, human beings, are not supposed to even think. Machines are thinking. And what humans are doing? Nothing. So that is good in one way, because now you have all the time. But what are we doing with that time? Are we trying to understand what is the ultimate goal of life? Are we trying to fulfill that ultimate goal of life? The engineers or the technologists in this world, they give their arguments that life has become so easy. Yes, it has become easy. You can travel, you can talk to anyone, you can communicate. It's easy. But is our life becoming happy? Are we becoming happy? Are we becoming satisfied? Are we doing something positive? No. The Varna Ashram, everyone was doing their own duty and they were peaceful. Even 30 years back, because this telephones and mobiles and internet started maybe mid-90s in India. I remember 96, 97. Still it was a very new concept. This big, mobiles earlier were like a briefcase. Prabhuji would have seen, like briefcase, this big mobile. And I remember we used to make a call, 10 rupees a minute. And if you receive a call in mobile, 6 rupees a minute you have to pay. So still there were new concepts. But the mind was so peaceful. This mobile is such a source of distraction and disturbance and miseries. Who has given? Krishna has not given this. And the person who has given is the most rich person on the planet. Can you imagine? He's selling miseries and he's becoming richer. But is he happy? No. Now you see what is happening. So many youths are sitting. What is happening? The mind is on a constant state of stress, disturbance, anxiety, agitated. The mind is constantly agitated. What is happening with the world today? Especially the youth. Constant agitation. That is why they are not able to focus. They are not able to concentrate. They are not able to perform any task with efficiency because distraction. And this is what has happened in every field. The farming and herding cows, serving cows, which Krishna has done, is doing eternally, has become a neglected thing. And Prabhupada always used to say, what will you eat? You are developing, the industrialization is happening, you are coming up with so many industries, what will you eat? Will you eat nuts and bolts? Can you eat that? Can you eat plastic? We cannot eat that. What we need to eat comes from the ground, from earth. And that is not being focused. It's neglected. So, the farmers, they cannot have the facilities because people are not getting into there. And exploitation. So, we see and we can understand how Krishna created this world. Everything is given. This world is complete. What is that completeness? The completeness of this world is you have all the facilities to perform bhajan, to practice Krishna consciousness, perfect your life, go back to spiritual world. That is completeness. Everything is given. It's not that Krishna has, left something for us to figure out. So, when any one of you travel, you book a ticket, take a flight from Delhi to Bombay. You book a ticket, you get the ticket, you get the boarding pass, you get the seat number. You don't have to bring your own chair. You don't have to bring your own sleeping bag that I will sleep in the flight. No. You have to just find out which is your seat, go and sit there, tighten your seat belt and don't disturb the pilot. That's why if you disturb the pilot will announce Mayday. That means terrorist attack, emergency situation. Here we cannot disturb pilot, Krishna is pilot. Krishna is controlling this world, he is operating through three modes of material nature. And we are still disturbing, so then Krishna, calls, like the pilot, if he sees some disturbance, he calls the steward or the air hostess, what's happening? Take care. And Krishna sends his devotees, his pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada. There's so much of disturbance, all these people have become crazy, go and do something. And Prabhupada comes and explains, don't do like that. But still, what is happening? If we just sit peacefully and follow, we will get everything we need, everything, material and spiritual. Sometimes people think you become a devotee, you have to give up everything material. That's not, correct. You become devotee, you don't have to give up anything material. You just have to connect everything you have with Krishna. This process of Krishna consciousness does not teach us to leave, but to connect with Krishna. Can you be happy? Prabhupada says, Mayavadi is they. Neti. I don't want this, not this. And they don't eat anything. Sometimes even if they have to eat, I don't know whether they eat boiled sabjis or what. Okay. But Prabhupada says, devotees of Krishna, they cook feast. They offer it to Krishna and relish Mahaprasad. So yes, all this technology in this world has given us a lot of time. What should we do with that time? This Ajgar Vritti. Even Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, Prabhupada focus. Prabhupada used to walk, every day morning walk and garden. Sometime if there is, coastal region, then he'll go to the beach. Otherwise, somewhere where the park is there. So in US, somewhere Prabhupada was walking in park in America and he said, look at these beautiful parks. These people have created, but they don't have time to come and relish or to enjoy, to be here. And who is enjoying? We. Prabhupada said that is Ajgar Vritti. Mouse will take so much of effort and he will dig a hole in the ground. And he will think, now I will stay here peacefully. But then this serpent comes, eats the mouse and take the house. Mouse and house both are gone. So let them do. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said, let these people work on the technology. We will take everything and utilize in Krishna's service. And today devotees are doing this facility of online lectures, live lectures. So many people, when this virus was there in a complete lockdown, this depression and anxiety and stress, I think, increased multi-million times more. I was talking to one of the neurotherapists in Mumbai, and he said more than 50% of people are becoming crazy just because of this lockdown. So many cases of divorces, domestic violence, suicides, depression have increased. This is what we have done to this world, and we are getting it back. But what devotees were doing? Devotees are giving lecture after lecture after lecture. There was some Kirtan Mela on Zoom. So many Kirtan Melas. So one devotee, he got an email because his ID he was using for Kirtan Mela. Now Kirtan Mela is 24 hours going on. For 3 days, 72 hours Kirtan. And this company Zoom, they wrote him an email. What you people are doing? How can you use continuously Zoom? Are you not fatigued? There is something called Zoom fatigue. If you go on internet, you will find Zoom fatigue. That means people are now fed up of this. But devotees, Kirtan Mela is going on and on and on and on. So that's what. Why? Because devotees are most intelligent species. What they do? Whatever is available, use it in Krishna's service. Prabhupada got down at one of the airport, and wherever Prabhupada would reach, there will be media. Krishna arranged everything for his devotees. Media would surround Prabhupada, and then one lady, journalist, she is asking, Swamiji, what you have to say about technology? Prabhupada said technology is useless. And she was like, you are saying technology is useless, but you use this flight to come here. Prabhupada said, I am making it useful. This technology is useless, I am making it useful by engaging it in Krishna's service. And that is why it is said that devotees should not hanker. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. Why devotee does not hanker? Whatever is available, use it in Krishna service. Whatever is not there, not there. My Lord, I have so much, I can give you that much. And so many examples. Gajendra, he was struggling in that lake for 1000 years. What he had to offer? Only his consciousness with a flower. Lotus flower. So devotees, whatever and Krishna comes. Sudama, what he offered to Krishna? Handful of chipped rice. And Krishna gave him so much. So why we have to hanker? There was one youth. So all these crazy ideas, coming in everywhere in the world. So there was one boy, he was chanting few rounds, 8 or 10 rounds. And then he said, Prabhuji, I said, why don't you chant 16 rounds? You're staying with devotees, you chant 16 rounds. He said, morning I go to learn martial art. Martial art. I said, why you want to learn martial art? He said, to fight Maya. I said, you crazy person, you can fight Maya by learning martial art. All the martials and art will go away. And you will also, will not be seen anywhere. You want to fight Maya learning martial art? Have you seen Maya? No? You are already in Maya. First you fight that. So we don't have to hanker for anything, whatever we have. Like now ISKCON is also preaching to deaf people. A person who cannot speak, cannot hear. So we are doing something. We started in Mumbai and now spreading. So then the question came, one person who could hear and talk, he said, how can a person who has no power of speech can perfect his life because he cannot chant Hare Krishna mantra. I said, that's not correct. For us, yes, it is prescribed that we should chant, not silently, but with producing some sound, so that we hear our own japa. But a person who has been, because of previous karma, not been given that power to hear or power to speak, yes, he cannot hear Prabhupada lecture, he cannot hear other devotees lecture, but he can read. He cannot chant audibly, but he can chant in the mind. He can chant within, and still he can perfect his life. There are devotees who are deaf, cannot speak, cannot hear, but they are initiated devotees. They can still perfect their life. Anyone can practice Krishna consciousness. Anyone literally means anyone and everyone. A person, a soul who's in the womb of his mother, his or her, whatever. Can that soul practice, can that Jivatma practice Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga? No. But Bhakti Yoga? Yes. Mother has to hear the lecture and the child is developing spiritual consciousness. That's what happened with Prahlad Maharaj. Narad Muni gave instruction to mother of Prahlad Maharaj. So we don't have to go out and get anything. Whatever we have, whatever skills we have. Sometimes devotees get into this practice of developing new skills and talents. Okay, if it is required and told by your authorities, you learn it. Some devotees needed, okay, to paint these beautiful paintings. Some devotee we need, okay, if nobody is available who has the skills, okay, you learn and practice and use in Krishna service. But that has to be sanctioned by the proper authority. Otherwise, we'll just follow the whims of our mind. So, whatever skills, talents, whatever we have facilities, whatever resources we have, just engage in Krishna service and you will perfect your life. It's as simple as that. Today is also disappearance day of Srila Madhvacharya. So I thought to read something from his teachings. He has given wonderful teachings. So in a summary, there are 9 teachings of Madhvacharya. And what Srila Prabhupada has already given us. So the first he says, Bhagavan Shri Krishna alone is the supreme absolute truth, one without second. Prabhupada told, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So Bhagavan, only Krishna, nobody else. Then he says, Krishna is the object of knowledge in all the Vedas. Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita, Vedesya sarvam ahameva vedya. I am to be known. When you read Vedas, you are supposed to know me, because nothing you will find except me in Vedas. Veda means knowledge, and knowledge about absolute truth. There is no other knowledge. Anything which is not connected to, any knowledge which is not connected to absolute truth, it's ignorance, it's not knowledge. It's not knowledge, it's avidya. The universe is real. He says the universe is real, Satya. Not like Mayavadi, they say Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. Prabhupada talks so much on this point. He said, how can false come from truth? He said, if Krishna is real, if Brahman you are saying is Satya, how can this world become Mithya or false? It's your illusion. Yes, this world is temporary, but not false. As he's saying, Madhvacharya is saying him. The difference between Ishvara, Jiva and matter are real. He propounded this, Dvaita Siddhanta. So the difference between matter and the Jiva and the controller. And you see Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter, 11th verse, in the purport he says, who is the person who is in knowledge? Who knows what is matter what is life, that means soul, and who is the controller of both. The person who knows the matter and the soul and the controller of both, he is in knowledge. Same thing. It's like a triangle. Krishna is at the peak. He is controlling the matter, he is controlling the life. And we have a relationship. Soul has relation with matter, soul has relation with Krishna, matter also has relation with Krishna. But they three are real. Nothing is false. Fifth, Jiva, the souls, are by nature the servants of Supreme Lord Hari. Sometimes people ask, why I have to become servant? I am fed up of being servant of my boss in the office. And for how long I have to become servant of Krishna? Mame vamsho jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana. Krishna says, eternally you are my servant and eternally you will be servant. So people have misconceptions about being servant. We in this world, Prabhupada says, because we are as a servant exploited by our so-called masters. That's why we don't like to be servant. Otherwise, Krishna, as a master, he serves his servants. Partha Sarthi, he became driver of his own devotee. Nanda Baba is telling, Nanda Maharaj told to Yashoda Mata, so now your son is growing. He was like 2.5 years old. Now your son is growing. He is eating so much. So is he eating and growing? Or does he has some strength also? Sometimes people may just eat and grow, but they don't have strength. So Yashoda says, Acha, you want to see the strength of my son? Wait. Then she calls out, Lala, take those slippers of your Baba and give to him. And that time slippers like wooden. So Krishna carries these wooden slippers on his head, and somehow he manages to walk and gives to Baba. So much strength he has got. So Krishna is ready to serve his devotees, carrying the slippers of his own devotee on his head. Then he says, sixth, there are two categories of jivas, the illusioned and liberated. Bhagavad Gita also talks about two kinds of souls, liberated and illusioned, same concept. And there is one more category. Technically not, but there are people who think they're illusioned and they're liberated, but they are the most dangerous in the illusion category, those who think they are liberated. The illusion soul, when he thinks that I am liberated, most dangerous situation. Then he says, liberation means attaining the lotus feet of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. In other words, entering an eternal relationship of service to the Supreme Lord. What is mukti? To understand our own swarupa, our own original, eternal, constitutional relation of a servant with Supreme Lord. That's mukti. Eighth, he said, pure devotion, pure devotional service to Krishna is the only way to attain liberation. There is no other way. Only pure devotional service. All these karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, nothing will help. Only bhakti yoga and pure bhakti yoga. Then we can go back to Godhead. Then he says, ninth one, the truth may be known by pratyaksh, anuman and shabd or Vedic authority. How the truth can be known? First is we hear, and then pratyakshavagavam dharmyam susukham kartum avyayam. Krishna says, you hear, you understand, and then you can observe it. Pratyaksh, you can see it, and this process will make you susukham. This practice of this process will make you very, very happy. So these are the, in short, 9 teachings of Srila Madhvacharya. So just to honor and remember this great Acharya, who is our Parampara Acharya. We are Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Parampara. Yes, we are Prabhupada Nugas, we are Rupa Nugas, we are Gaudiyas, but this line comes from Madhvacharya. He is the Acharya of Brahma Sampradaya. So we can pray to Srila Madhvacharya, especially to give us that sharp intelligence, to give us that knowledge, because he preached and broke the tooth of Mayavadis. All over India he travelled, defeating Mayavadis left, right and center, especially Shankara's philosophy. Prabhupada did the same thing. Only thing is, Prabhupada travelled in the flights also and defeated everyone, and especially the scientists. Prabhupada has showered special blessing on the scientist community. And he preached. So he is a follower. And because he followed, Prabhupada said, one who is a follower, he can become perfect leader. And Prabhupada is the leader who can lead entire world back home, back to Godhead. Shri Madhvacharya ki, Srila Madhvacharya Tirobha Mahamotsav ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Any questions? We can take one question, the time is up. Prabhuji, please, you can give a comment, Prabhuji.
A disciple is very chaste, spiritual master, the guru, and they should be. So when we're offering prayers or asking for Madhvacharya's mercy, Srila Siddhanta's mercy, or Bhaktivinoda Thakur, to what degree can we separate that from our own,
Spiritual.
to our own guru? And it's a fine line. Not, you want to respect everyone, but at the same time, we have certain affinities for our own guru.
So Prabhuji is asking that how he just is giving me opportunity to speak. Said today is Madhvacharya's disappearance day, and we offer our prayers to him, or on the special occasion Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhakti-Tantara. So then how we can connect? We have our own spiritual master, there's a parampara, so can we approach directly? So this question was asked to Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada said that you cannot offer prayers to the parampara without first approaching your own guru. But on this special occasion, you can pray to them directly. I have heard from few devotees that whatever comes in our life, because Krishna has sent us Guru. Krishna arranges. Prabhupada writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the first installment of mercy of Krishna is that we get bona fide spiritual master. So Krishna has arranged, yes, definitely. So we have to be completely loyal to our own spiritual master. But all the mercy coming from Krishna and all the acharyas is coming through spiritual master. So anything we have to approach through spiritual master, that is correct. But on a special occasion, we can pray to spiritual master and rather pray to him that with your permission, seeking your permission, I am praying to Srila Madhvacharya on this special occasion, which Prabhupada has allowed, what I have heard, and still now Madhvacharya is the Acharya, Sampradaya Acharya of Brahma Sampradaya. That does not mean that we will take out all the teachings of Madhvacharya and start applying without referring to Prabhupada's teachings. It's very important. If you read this book by His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhav, so I was reading, there are some, the way Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur managed or preached or he gave priority is different from what Prabhupada has given. Now these both are great acharyas, one disciple, one spiritual master, so they can understand what is to be applicable as per time, place and circumstances. So Prabhupada said, now the circumstances have changed, the time has changed. So he took the same teaching coming right from Krishna to Srila Bhakti-Tantara Thakur, he assimilated and he gave what is required. And now also we see in different temples, like few days back, 2 days back, it was appearance day of Srila Advaita Acharya, and here devotees honor Ekadashi Prasad, but in Mumbai we honor regular Prasad.
We have both.
Yeah, I saw that. So then how to resolve this? When Prabhupada said temple president, when he decides, because these are only managerial issues, but we should still understand the teachings. We have to follow, coming from parampara, but how Srila Prabhupada has given us. Because we are Prabhupada, we are in ISKCON, so follow the rules of ISKCON. Prabhuji, you want to add something? This is what my understanding was. Anything would like to add to this?
We have to glorify the three chariots. Stay also, don't deviate from the teachings, because our guru is representing Prabhupada.
Shiksha Guru.
For everyone to be a chariot for the next 10,000 years. We have Prabhupada's books, and he's giving the summary in a very positive way of all the teachings of the Goswamis and all the great acharyas. So he's delivered it to us in the perfect way. Out of curiosity, we can sometimes read other things, so be very careful not to go too far into the woods.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Speak little louder, Prabhuji.
I said thank you very much. Thank you. Still? My question is that you explained a little bit about Ajgar Riddhi. Sometimes like you will become lazy taking this Ajgar Riddhi. So if you can give some more light about this.
So Prabhuji is asking Ajgar Vritti, sometimes devotees become lazy. See, if Ajgar becomes lazy, he cannot go to the hole or the house which mouse has created. If you are lazy, you just sit there. How will you go? Ajgar Vritti means Ajgar is moving, the snake is moving towards the mouse, towards the rat. And he enters the house, he has to eat and then stay. If that Ajgar becomes lazy, then he is just on the road, he is sitting. So Prabhupada or our acharyas, when they are saying utilize everything for Krishna's service. What these non-devotees are creating. They are not saying you just sit and become lazy. So action is very much there. Prabhupada says you become, intelligent, means you become, lazy intelligence. But you have to do something. You cannot just sit and everything will come. So lazy people, anyways, Prabhupada writes in purport, this movement is not for lazy and crazy. But lazy people don't achieve anything. If you see in their life, they don't achieve anything. Crazy people keep running around, they cannot hold of anything. Lazy people, they cannot hold anything because they don't do anything. So we have to be balanced. Then we can achieve. Hare Krishna. So time is up. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.